Now I'll show you some basic surd work. Let's say we have square root of 4 multiplied by square root of 4. Well, you know square root of 4 is 2, square root of 4 is 2, and then 2 times 2 is 4. So square root of 4 times square root of 4 gives you 4. Similarly, let's say we got square root of 9 multiplied by square root of 9. Well, you know square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So it looks like when the number under the square root sign is the same, all you got to do is copy that number across like I've done over here. So what if you have something that is not a square number? So let's say we've got square root of 7, which we know would be a decimal number. Square root of 7 times square root of 7 just gives you 7. And I'll show you on the calculator, if you look at the corner of the screen, square root of 7. There you go, 7. It doesn't have to be numbers, it could be letters as well. It could be square root of, for example, x multiplied by square root of x. Just gives you x. Now you might be thinking now, well, what if the numbers are different? Let's say you got square root of 9 multiplied by square root of 4. Well then, all you got to do is copy the square root symbol, and then 9 times 4 is 36, which we know happens to be a square number. 36 is a square number, so square root of 36 comes out nicely as 6. You could have left it like this, but because 36 is a square number, we were able to simplify that further. So what if you've got square root of 5, which is not a square number, and let's say square root of 3. All you're going to do, copy the square root symbol, and then 5 times 3, 15. Square root of 15. So I'll show you on the screen. Square root of 5, square root of 5 times square root of 3. There you go, square root of 15. So that's in surd form. Okay, a surd is basically a number with a square root symbol in it, or any expression that's got a square root symbol. Now I'm going to show you some multiplication work with surds. Right, let's suppose, just to make you think back to basic algebra work, let's say you got 2 times x, which you know is 2x. That's quite straightforward. Well, what if you had 2 times root 3? Well, that's simply 2 root 3. If you had, for example, 5 times root 2, that would be 5 root 2. Right, quite straightforward. Right, let's make the analogy with algebra again. So let's say you had 2 times 3x, which you know is 6x. Well, what if it was 2 times 3 root 5? Well, then 2 times 3 is 6, and then you just copy the root 5 across. It's as simple as that. So we've been dealing with multiplication now. What if we were dealing with, let's say, adding and taking away? So to make an analogy with algebra, you know 5x plus 2x makes 7x. Not 7x squared, just 7x. So similarly, if we had 5 root 3, 5 lots of root 3s plus 2 lots of root 3s, what would that make? Well, 5 plus 2 is 7, so we've got 7 lots of root 3s. You can do the same thing with takeaway as well. So you got 8 root 2 minus 3 root 2. So we've got 8 lots of root 2s minus 3 lots of root 2s. 8 take away 3 is 5, so we've got 5 lots of root 2s left over. Now we'll be dealing with fractions, multiplying fractions. Let's suppose you have this thing here, 2 root 3 over 5. It's a fraction multiplied by 5. Now when you multiply fractions, well, you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, the 5 is not a fraction. Well, I can make it into a fraction by making it 5 over 1. 5 over 1, 5 divided by 1 is the same as 5. So now all we're going to do is numerator times numerator, and then denominator times denominator. So here we go. 2 root 3 times 5, looking at the numerator. Well, 5 times 2, this 5 times the 2 gives you 10. And you got the root 3, just copy the root 3 across. And then 5 times 1 is just 5. Now that could be simplified further. If you look at the 10 over here and the 5, 10 divided by 5 can be simplified, that's 2. And then just copy the root 3 across. Right, one more. Let's do a different colour, make it stand out. Let's say you got 7 root 3 over 6 multiplied by 2 over 3. Multiply the numerators together. So you got 14 root 3, and the denominator 6 times 3 is 18. Now that can be simplified now. The 14 and the 18 can be simplified. You can divide the top and bottom by 2. Okay, so half of 14 is 7, half of 18 is 9. So that fraction can't be simplified any further. And then just copy the root 3 across. So I'll just demonstrate that to you on the calculator. We had 7 root 3 multiplied by 2 over 3. There you go, 7 root 3 over 9 is what we have on our screen.